Hello everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next in my Getting Results in Business series, we are coming to the end of our unit on talking about performance appraisal. We've been talking about appraisal of individuals, of companies, even of projects. And today we're going to talk about how to talk about hypothetical things. When you're giving an appraisal, you can talk about what should have happened. So we'll look at the language of hypothetical situations coming up. Okay, first a little bit about me. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. By the way, here are 3 quick rules to help you participate. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up. That means when you're not speaking, try to turn off your microphone so we can keep the classroom quiet. When you are speaking, of course, turn on your microphone, but I want you to tune in to the new words. In this case, it's going to be grammar. Tune into it means use it actively. The more actively you use it, the more I can correct you and give you feedback. And finally, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. And that is a little bit about me. How are you? Let's welcome back Sylvia and Sergio.
Hello.
Hello. And Diego
John.
and Tom. So welcome back, everyone. Let's say hello to some new faces out there. So we've got let's see, how do I say your name? Is it Nizida? Am I saying that right?
Hi, teacher. Yes, right, Nizida.
Nizida. And where are you from, Nizida?
I'm from Colombia.
From Colombia. Okay, excellent. And we have Hieri. Is that right?
Hi, just call me Harry.
Harry? Like
Yes,
that?
perfect, yeah.
Okay, very good. And where are you from, Harry?
I'm from South Korea.
From South Korea. Okay, excellent. So, I'm going to share my screen with you. Take a look at... give me a second here, and I'll share my screen with you. 1 second. Why can't I share my screen? Hold on a second. There we go. So, remember, you've always got the material under the Verbling video window. However, I will put it in the chat window if you want to open the notes. When you do, you will see this, and you know you're in the right place, this graphic. So what we're going to do is take a look at...
Chat box?
1 second. There we go.
Okay, thanks.
See it? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, if you scroll down, you've got my contact, you've got the table of contents, and I'll just update that. Oh, there's a little problem there with the formatting. Let me just fix that really quick before we do a little review. Let me just fix that because it shouldn't be so big. 1 second. 1 second here. This is all wrong. There we go. Okay, so I've taken some notes. Let's go to yesterday's class to do a quick summary. If you weren't here, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. You can come and go as you like. If you want to follow the sequence of classes, usually every other Monday I start a new unit. Usually it's like that. So it's about 8 classes all in all. So what did we do yesterday here? We focused on making people feel relaxed during or before an appraisal. For example, when they're waiting in an office. When people come to get a work evaluation, they feel nervous. So we looked at the key language to relax them or to welcome them. So what? Who cares? Why is it important? Well, you should now, from yesterday's class, have 4 ways to make people feel at home. You can offer something, deal with coats and bags, talk about the journey, talk about the weather, and we had some key expressions for those. Also, remember that we do not use negative words. This was something that came up yesterday. I don't mean you can't be negative. You can't say anything critical. I don't mean that. What I mean is, rather than say problem in business English, you should say challenge, because it sounds more positive. You don't want to sound hopeless. Rather than say conflict, you might want to say issue. Rather than say bad, you want to say not so good. It's just those negative words themselves you want to avoid. So this came up in yesterday's class. I sent you homework number 2. If you hadn't done it, I sent that to you as well. Okay? And we can, if there's any questions, we can go over it. And here is some of the extra keywords from the last few classes on page 4 and 5. So what about today? I'm going to open presentation 3. You can open it as well. And I'm going to quickly open homework 2 if there's any questions about that. Okay? Did any of you have a chance to do homework 2? Of course, you can correct yourself because the answers are on the last page. But if you did it and there's anything you couldn't figure out, just ask me now and we'll take a look. Okay, so this was from the business skills section from last Thursday. Not all of you were here, but what you could have done, read through the text in the business skills section and try this homework on your own, and it had a lot of vocabulary and key phrases. So did anyone do this? Is there any questions about this homework?
Yes, I did, but no questions.
Are you sure?
Possibly.
Okay. All right. Remember, you can always correct your answer on the last slide, and then you bring your questions to class if you're not sure why the answer is the way it is. All the language here we did in class. Okay? And you can always review. One more thing. Homework 2 is related to presentation 2. So you can always review presentation 2 if you're not sure about where it came from. Okay, if there's no other questions, then let's move forward. In presentation 3, yesterday it was about making people feel relaxed, and today, let's go forward here, we're going to deal with another part of a job appraisal. This is one of the most important things you will ever learn in your English studies. Hypothetical language. It's difficult, but I think we can make it easy for you. So, talking about hypothetical past events using the third and mixed conditionals. Class, what is a conditional?
If.
It's a sentence with if.
Yeah.
Sentence with if. That's true. I said the third conditional. That means there's at least a 1 and a 2. So, what is the difference between the third conditional, the second conditional, and the first conditional? Do you know?
Yes, I think the first conditional is the real situation,
That's true. Good.
and the second conditional is a possibility,
That's true. Second conditional is like unreal.
and the third conditional is impossible situation. Is any situation is had done and had done, and is you can back in the past.
You go back to the past. That's right.
Yes.
So in the chat window, I'm going to put a little summary. 0 conditional is only the present, and it's used to generalize. The first is the real condition. It has will in it. The second is an unreal or hypothetical, and it has would in it, usually would. And the third is an impossible situation, and it has would have. And that is the simplest way I can summarize the form. But we're going to use the third, and you'll see how it works. By the way, it says mixed. A mixed conditional is usually the second conditional. It's usually the second mixed with another. Usually the second, not always, but usually. Don't worry if that doesn't make sense. Don't worry about it. We're going to start using it, and then you'll see. So let's start here. Read these extracts from audio 59. Well, we did a little listening the other day. Okay? If you want to review the listening, let me just double check if it's here. I think it is. No, it's not. It's in number 2. So let me open number 2 in the background if we can take a look later. You don't need it, okay? But I'll open it and we can take another look later. Give me just a second here. Let's move forward. Okay, read these extracts and answer the questions. So Anton, could you read extract A for us? Just read it for us so we can all take a look together.
If you started a language course, then you'd be quite proficient now.
Excellent. And what does the apostrophe D stand for? What word is that D?
Would.
Anton? Would, right. If you'd started. Are you sure it's would? Because it might be a different auxiliary verb.
It could be could.
Or it could be something else.
Had.
So when you see the D, you don't know. You have to look at the context. In this case, it's had. If you had started. Just to be clear. But apostrophe D can also be would or could. You're right. It can be. So in this case, it's had. And you know that because started is in the past participle form. It's the ed form. So the verb tense is the past perfect. That's what we call it. Had done. Had started. Had been. Okay, and Carmen, could you read extract B for us?
Okay, if Kathy hadn't left, they probably would have done the course.
Okay, there you go. So, in this case, there's no contraction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same kind of conditional, or is it a different conditional?
It's a third conditional. It's the same thing.
So, A and B are both the third conditional. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I agree. So, if we had to turn this into a formula, Carmen, what would the formula be? If plus...
Well, first part is if plus past perfect.
If plus past perfect, which is had
Left, or had started.
I'm going to use done to make it easy, but you're right. I'm going to say plus ed because if it's regular, it'll have an ed. If plus past perfect, which is had plus ed, and what's the second part?
Second part is would, the conditional, and then have and past participle.
Okay, good. Would plus have, and I'm going to again say ed, but of course, if you got a word like to do, there's no ed. Do is done. But talk would be talked. So if it's regular, ed. If it's irregular, you have to just know it. You have to, of course, learn your irregulars. Okay? Eventually, I'm going to make a little memory course for you to practice irregulars. I just haven't had time. If you haven't memorized them, I'll give you a way to do it. Let's say a quick hello to, again, what was it? I can't see the faces. Oh, Hiri. Hello, Hiri. How are you?
Good, how are you? Thank you.
So, take a look at the first question. Which sentence describes an imagined action and an imagined past result of those A and B? What do you think fits that definition? It's a little bit abstract, I know. We've got two choices.
Letter B.
Okay. So the one about Katie.
Yes.
If Katie hadn't left, I probably would have done the course. Would have done. Carmen, you said A and B were exactly the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure they're exactly the same? Because I'm looking at one big difference between A and B. Now that Nizia just Hiri just mentioned it, I'm seeing a difference between A and B. Do you see it?
Yeah, because I think it's got something to do with now, with the output. No, because the present result.
Yeah,
the
but
past
look at your formula.
Mm-hmm.
Does your formula fit both sentences?
Okay, let me see.
I know it fits B, but does it fit A too?
Oh no, not the first one. No, not the first one.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
So that means the first one is it the third conditional?
No. Second one is the third conditional.
Okay. So we need to clarify what letter A is. Class, if you'd started a language course then, you'd be quite proficient now. What does the apostrophe D stand for in you'd be quite proficient now? Is that had?
No. Would.
No, it's
Would.
would. Exactly. So it's not really the third conditional, is it?
No.
Okay. So Kiri says an imagined past action and an imagined past result is letter B. Do we all agree with her? Do we all agree about that definition? Do we all disagree? Do some of us agree?
What did she say? She said B with.
Kiri, what did you say? Let's just make sure we all agree with you.
I said letter B would be, yeah. Or is it imagine past action and an imagine past result?
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We all agree. So that means that letter A matches with an imagined past action, but a present result.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what kind of condition is letter A? If it's not the third conditional, what is it?
Second conditional.
But is it the second conditional? Let's put the formula for the second conditional. Mr. Jose, are you out there?
Yes, I am here.
Mr. Jose,
Yes.
I want you to try to give me the formula for the second conditional. Look at the formula for the third conditional and tell me.
The second conditional is if after the past.
If plus past.
Yes. If
Okay.
past, I would present.
Okay, not the present. We call that the base form, just so you know. It is.
Okay.
It's the same as the present. The reason it's not the present is because it's two words together. Would go, would have, would do.
Okay.
So we say call that,
Will join a verb, join with a verb, no?
with another verb, yeah.
With another verb, okay.
So if plus past,
In infinitive.
but we're not going to call it the infinitive because it's not.
In present tense.
We're not going to call it the present either. We're going to call it the base form of the word.
Base form. Okay, base. Okay.
So here's the difference.
Yes.
Infinitive equals to go, right? Infinitive always has a to. What we call the base form is just go.
Okay, without to. Okay.
Without the to. The base form is identical to the present. In fact, the present is formed from the base, so they're the same. But we don't call it the present because it's not about the present. It's about this hypothetical. All right.
The letter A, the first part is a second conditional, and the second part, I don't know.
They're both. That's the point.
Yes. Oh, yes. You will be. Yes. It's the second conditional letter A.
Well, that's the thing. Let's be clear.
Uh,
It's actually not. It's a mixed conditional because we have the third conditional in the first
Okay.
part.
In the first
We
part,
have-
okay,
in the second
you
part-
had started. Okay.
Exactly. So it's third conditional mixed with the second conditional. But as you all mentioned a moment ago, it's a present result. If it's a present result, it is exactly the same in meaning as the second conditional. And so it's a mix. So earlier I said mixed conditionals usually mean the same as second conditionals, and that's a perfect example. If you're talking about now, it's really second conditional in meaning. So what is it? Mixed conditional.
Mixed conditional.
What does it mean? It means the present. Letter
Okay.
B is the third conditional, and third conditionals always refer to a past. What kind of past? Well, someone, I forgot who it was, said an impossible past, and I can't remember who said it, but you were right. A condition where you can't go backwards in time and change the past, so it's like an impossible past. Okay, we'll see what that means in a second. Question number 2. Which conditional is used in each case? We just identified it. B, mixed. A, mixed. B, third conditional. What verb forms are used in each conditional? We already identified them.
In the first part, I use the past perfect.
Good.
Yeah, and the second part, in the second part, I use would be.
Okay. And in letter B, it's not the past perfect, but it's
No.
the, what is it? Is it the past perfect? It is. Had it left, it is.
Yes.
I'm getting confused. And in the second part,
In the
would
second
have
part,
done.
would and would join the base verb.
Would have in the base
Would-
verb.
Yes.
So it's perfect in both sides. Past perfect and this, what we call subjunctive perfect or conditional perfect. So
Conditional
because it has have. Yeah, whatever you want to call it. There's no real name for it. It's not that clear what we call it. But that's it. What other modal verbs besides would have are possible, Sylvia? Tackle number 4 for us. What's your opinion about number 4?
What other mother could,
Could is
Have.
correct. Mhm. Might have is correct.
may,
May have is not actually the second conditional. It's the first conditional. So it's not correct. But would, could, and might are correct. Sergio, can you tell me 1 or 2 more? She said would, could, and might. Are there any others? There's 2 more I can think of. Can you think of any others, Sergio?
Could, okay, let me just could, might, and there's a different one I never use. It's oughta, have.
Ought to. And that is right. To summarize, would, could, don't forget about should, might,
Should, yeah, of course. Should.
and ought to. And those are all of your second conditional forms. They go with the third conditional if you add have. Would have, could have, should have, might have, ought to have. So there you go. So that's the form. Now that we've clarified the form, let's see if we can try to use this. It says work with a partner. Let's work together as a class. Discuss what you might say in each of these situations. Use the third conditional and at least one mixed conditional. And if you forget, go back here and look at sentence A to see an example of a mixed conditional. You start talking about the past, but you end up talking about now in a mixed conditional, right? If I had started, if I had learned engineering, then I would be an engineer instead of an English teacher. So I can talk about the past with the result now, just like I can talk about the past with the result then. If I had learned engineer, I wouldn't have been very happy because it's not something that I maybe like to do. I'm talking only about the past. Here's the first situation. Actually, let's get a reader here. Let's go to... Oh, Nizita, you're not there. You have to step away. Okay. Let's go to Mr. Diego. Are you there, Mr. Diego?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Can you read the first situation for us?
Okay, you took the company car without authorization.
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 Good.
You drove to the project meeting and arrived on time. There was a possibility of losing the contract. Present result, the company is expanding its business.
Excellent. So, why did you take the company car? Was it a good idea, do you think, Diego? Was it worth the risk?
I think the risk is you can lose the contract.
You can,
You can.
or you could.
You could.
Exactly. If you're talking about now and it's hypothetical, it's could. The risk was you could. Wait a second. Let's talk about the past for a second, shall we? Mr. Raphael, are you out there?
Yes, I'm here.
So he said, the risk is that you could lose the contract now. Could you say that sentence, but referring only to the past, Raphael, about the risk? Refer only to the past. You've got to use the third conditional now. Not the second, but the third.
But the first sentence or the second, number two?
No, we're talking about situation number one. And listen to Diego's sentence. He said the risk is now that you could lose the contract. But let's talk about then.
Yeah.
I want you to transform that sentence from a second to a third conditional. What was the risk if you didn't go?
If you had did that.
If you had done.
If you have done that thing, I forgot.
Wait, don't forget. It's right there. Number one. Look, what was the thing you did? You drove to the meeting.
If you had done. If you had taken. That the company car without authorization.
Wait, 1 second. You did take the company car. You did. You took it. So, if you, Raphael, let's start the sentence like this. If you hadn't taken the company car.
Yeah. If you hadn't taken the car.
What would, could, might have happened? If you hadn't taken it, what would the result have been?
Good had arrived on time.
You lost me. If you hadn't taken it, you would or wouldn't have arrived.
You drove to the private meeting.
Would or wouldn't have arrived on time. The idea is fine, but you said you would have arrived on time, right?
Yeah.
Did you arrive on time in number one?
You drove to the meeting, arrived on time.
See what I mean? You drove to the meeting and arrived on time. You did arrive on time. Right?
You didn't had arrived on time to the meeting.
Let me see if I understand. What you're saying is, if you hadn't taken the car, you wouldn't have arrived on time. Yes?
Yeah.
That's correct. I want to make sure you understand, though. Is it clear for you? So, what we need to do let's take a look at Carmen's sentence. Carmen, read your sentence for us.
If I hadn't taken the car company, I wouldn't have arrived to the meeting on time.
Car company or company car?
Company car.
Company car, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Raphael, that's what you were trying to say. I think you said it in the end. Can you see Carmen's sentence in the chat window?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Because the first time you said you would have, right? So that was conflicting with the first part. So your idea is fine. Just be careful with the form. Class in Carmen's example. In Carmen and Raphael's example, we're talking about the present or the past. Class, what is it?
That's the past.
I know you know, but I'm worried about everyone else. Because everyone is very quiet. Mr. Anton, are you out there? Mr. Anton, are you out there? Anton! Anton! Anton, are you sleeping? Oh my goodness, Anton's sleeping. Hiri, are you out there?
Yes.
Hello? Ah,
Yes.
okay. I want you to read number 2 for us. We're going to talk about that using a conditional as well. Can you read 2 for us?
Sure. You ordered some office equipment from your usual supplier, who always delivered on time. A new supplier offered a discount on the same order. The new supplier didn't have a good reputation for delivering on time. Present result: you have enough paper for the current mail shot.
Mail shot. It means like you're going to mail out publicity or advertising. Mail shot. Sending out masses of mail.
Okay.
Okay. One word. You need to repeat, Hiri. Equipment.
Equipment.
Not kip, but quip. Quip.
Okay. Equipment.
That's right. Good. So it's actually a oo-i. Quip. So that you got to slow it down to hear the oo.
Equipment.
That's it. Very good. Okay, I want you to do the same thing. Can you talk about first the present result? Let's try that. You can use a mixed conditional here if you like. So I want you to give it a shot.
Okay.
What is your use supplier?
Okay.
The present result, you have enough paper for the current mail shot. So what happened if you're going to make a mixed conditional about this? It's a little bit confusing, but give it a try. Let's see if we can make it make sense.
If the new supplier
Yeah?
hadn't hadn't offered
Right.
discount.
Sounds good so far. Hadn't offered a discount. Okay.
the same order.
So far, so good. Now's the tricky part. You got to talk about a result. You decide whether you want to talk about the past or the present. It's up to you.
Okay. I wouldn't have.
Right. What? Wouldn't have what?
I wouldn't have enough paper for the current mail shot.
Okay, you wouldn't have enough paper for the current mail shot if you hadn't done what? What was the first part again? Because I didn't see the connection. One more time. If you had or hadn't used which supplier?
A new supplier.
Okay, I agree. So one more time, all together. It's correct. Say it all together now.
Okay, if I hadn't used the new supply, I wouldn't
Have?
have enough paper for the current measure.
No, if you hadn't used the old supplier, because the old supplier is the one who's on time,
Okay.
right? So it's the right sentence, but it's the old supplier who's on time. The new supplier isn't on time, but gives a discount. Okay, so one more time. If I hadn't used the usual supplier, I wouldn't have had enough paper. Or now I wouldn't have, not have had, but had. I wouldn't have enough paper now. That's a mixed conditional. Let's talk about the discount, though. Let's talk about the discount. First, Jose, can you read your example for us? Jose, can you read your example?
Yes. If I had ordered some office equipment for my usual supplier, I would have enough paper.
Wait. Equip.
Equipment.
Perfect. Good.
Some office equipment from my usual supplier, I would have enough paper for the current mail slot.
If I had ordered some paper for you, that's exactly right. That's it. Is that a mixed conditional or is that a third conditional? You're absolutely right. Which conditional is it?
Mixed conditional.
It is a mixed conditional. Perfect. Now, I know that you see have in the second part, but what you don't see is the past participle. That means it's really the second conditional in the second part, the result,
Okay.
and the third conditional in the first part.
The result is present.
The result is about the present. Correct. That's right.
John,
Yeah.
I got a question. I mean, because he's using it in a negative way, but the thing is, he should be mailing the mail shot. So that means that he has the enough paper to do it.
Yeah, I just cared about the form of the sentence.
Okay, then.
I wasn't paying attention to
Okay.
anything else.
Okay, thank you.
Present
I was just
result-
wondering. Because
Yeah.
the result is that you've got the paper, not that you don't have it, because you didn't order the...
Comment, do you think I actually read these slides?
No, you didn't.
I don't know what's going on.
I know. Okay, then.
I just care about all of you and the little things you say. That's my world. But
Get it.
yes, you're right. The present result is that you do have enough paper, so that means that you used the usual supplier. That means that if you're going to talk about a discount, let's talk about a discount for a situation 2. Sergio, let's talk about a discount. Want to give it a shot? You have enough paper. Do you have a discount right now, Sergio?
No, not discount.
You don't have a discount, probably. We can infer that you don't have a discount. So I want you to use a mixed conditional to talk about that. Give it a try, Sergio.
Okay.
Think about what you would have had to do to get a discount now.
Okay, if I wasn't concerned about
Third conditional, past perfect first.
okay, if I hadn't concerned about discount,
If I hadn't concerned or been concerned? I'm not sure what you want to say. Been concerned about it? Worried
if I
about it?
yeah, if I hadn't really concerned about discount.
Let's say it a little differently. If I had we don't use concerned in that way. But if you want to use it, you'd have to say, if I hadn't concerned myself with something.
Okay, if
You
I
have to
had
use myself.
okay, if I had concerned myself
With what?
with discount,
With getting a discount.
with getting a discount, probably I would have enough paper for the current measure.
Oh, you probably Wait. Did you concern yourself with a discount, or did you not concern yourself with a discount? Because look.
No, at that time.
At that time. Okay, I'm with you. So look, let me simplify it for you, okay?
Okay.
Sergio,
Okay.
let me simplify it. Let's say it like this. If you want to use concerned about, it's fine. If I hadn't concerned myself with the deadlines, I would probably have a discount now. If I want to talk about the situation right now.
Okay, yeah.
That's another way to say it, if I want to talk about the present result. I don't have a discount now. That means that I had concerned myself more with the deadline, and I used the usual supplier, because that's the one who delivers on time. All right. I know maybe these examples are a little bit tricky. Let's see if we can use this in another way. What happened is this. Let me just go forward for a second. Let me just see how much we've got to do here. Okay, just these. Fine. Let me go back. All right. Anton, are you out there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. We've got two other situations we're going to use to clarify this. Can you read sentence A in this example?
You could have thought a bit more about the call center rota.
Okay, so the other day we talked about the call center rotation schedule, called a rota. It was in the other class. You could have thought a bit about. Let's get another reader too. Let's see. What about, let's see. Nazida, are you back already? Nazida? She's not back. Okay. Raphael, can you read B for us in this example?
Yeah. Reform?
Can you read B for us?
B. You really should have done that course.
Is the speaker pointing out what someone has done wrong, and in which is he pointing out, he or she is pointing out, what is this? What it was possible. Oh yeah, okay, got it. Sorry, it's worded in a weird way. Is pointing out what it was possible for someone to do. So one is a possibility and the other one is a criticism. Okay, so Anton and Sergio, how would you categorize your sentences? Who wants to go first? Anton, want to go first? And then Sergio, and then Sergio, I'm sorry, Raphael, you see if you agree. Anton, which one would you say? So in sentence A, is that a criticism or is that a possibility? Is someone criticizing for doing something wrong or suggesting a possibility, Anton? What do you think?
I think it's criticism.
Okay, what's the wrong thing? If it's criticism, they did something wrong, right?
Yeah.
Well, Raphael, do you agree with Anton? If his is a criticism, that means yours is really about a possibility, something else you could have done. So is yours a criticism or just a possibility, a suggestion, Raphael? What do you think in B?
I think it could be more a suggestion than a criticism, because the fact is done, and for this reason is a suggestion.
All right, let's take a look. Let's go back to the original text and see if the context will help us. I don't know if I can find it quickly, but if I can, this was Angela and Thomas talking about job performance from the other class last Thursday, or last Wednesday and Thursday. And at the very end, I don't know if I can find it quickly. Let me see if I can. Here. Okay. Mr. Diego, can you read Angela's comment at the top for us?
The first of Angela?
Yeah.
Okay. On a less positive note, You could have thought a bit more about the call center rota. Feedback from the department has been poor.
So what do you think, Diego? That's the same sentence as A.
Yes,
So,
it's the same.
so criticism or suggestion?
I think suggestion. I think no. Could you show me?
Yeah, probably don't agree with this. Let's take a look at the other, okay? 1 second. I don't know if I can find it quickly. Let me see if I can. Hold on. That was about the call center rota. And it's probably got to go back a little bit. If anyone was in that class, help me out on what page it is, because I don't know if I can see it. Oh, here it is. Here it is.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Mr. Jose, could you read Angela's last line on the left side for us?
On the left, the last line.
Angela's last line on the left.
Angelo's last line on the left. Okay. I think it would have helped you deal with your workload better.
I'm sorry, the whole thing from the beginning.
From the beginning, you really should have done that course. I think it would have helped you deal with your workload better.
Exactly. Okay, now that we've got the context, do we agree with Anton and Sergio about their sentences? Anton, you said that A was a criticism, right, Anton?
Yeah.
And Sergio, you said that B was more of a suggestion. Now that you've read the context, class, do you agree with that?
I think it is a suggestion, no?
Which? A or B?
B.
B. Do we all agree with that?
I do.
If you do, it's good enough for me. So, Anton and Raphael, you are correct. So,
And what about the rest of the class?
the rest of them, if they don't talk, it's their problem.
B is a suggestion, John, or no?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay.
I just wanted you to take a look at the original context because some of you weren't in the class, so you didn't get the audio. Okay? But in the audio, you can really see that Angela is giving Thomas a suggestion about what else he could have done. She's not saying he did anything wrong. And later, when she talks about, that was about the course, later, when she talks about a criticism, she says clearly on a less positive note.
That's
That
right.
means she's giving it a criticism. Okay, I just want to make sure that's really clear. Which modal verb could be replaced by might have? And which one could be replaced by ought to have? This is important because it tells you the difference between suggestions and criticisms.
Should?
Might can be replaced by should, is that right?
Yeah.
Might can be replaced by should. I don't know if I agree with you.
Could.
Could, I agree.
So.
Sentence with could. Let's hear how it sounds. Who said could? Somebody said could.
Joe.
Joe? Who's Joe?
He said it in Spanish.
Sergio.
I thought someone named Joe came into the room. Joe. Okay, so say that sentence with could, Sergio. Let's hear how it sounds.
Okay. Which one? Okay, you might have thought.
Yeah.
Oh, which sentence?
That's right. You're right. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. You might have thought a bit more about the call center router.
You might have thought a bit more about it, you bad boy. You might have thought a bit about it. You got to be careful because it will sound a little condescending if you say might. Sounds like you're an authority. You got to be a little bit careful with it. But you're absolutely right. You could have, you might have. Sound good in A. So Sylvia, Should have can be replaced by what?
Ought to.
Ought, like this, ought.
Ought.
So say the sentence with ought. Let's hear it.
Which sentence?
B.
Okay. You really ought to have done that course.
The meaning is almost the same. Almost the same. Ought to is more of an opinion. Slightly more subjective, but they're almost the same. Okay, so that's exactly right. So keep that in mind because it gives you a good example of how to use ought to. Ought to is like should, but it's, you really ought to that course. It would have been really good for you. All right, so it's a slightly stronger opinion than should. Should is a little bit more neutral, perhaps. Okay, so that's it. Now we just need to use these as a class. Discuss how you could respond in the following situations using could have, should have, or you can replace them with ought to or might. Remember, should and ought to go together. Could and might, could have and might have go together. Okay? So, invested savings in a company tipped on the internet and eventually sold them at a information about the stock market. Okay? So this is what happened. You invested savings in a company tipped on the internet. You read something online and eventually sold them, but talk about the past here. If you could go back in time, what would you have done differently? Okay?
Eric?
Go for it, Diego.
Eric, I have a question about the last about replace may have and ought to have.
Might have. Yeah.
The last page. Okay, that's.
So the easiest way is could can be replaced by might or ought to. That's the question, Diego. Could can be replaced by which word? By might.
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 So when you're giving a criticism, could and might are a way to do it without sounding too strong. Should can be replaced by what, Diego?
Ought to.
Ought to. Should and ought to are almost the same in meaning. Should cannot be replaced by could, cannot be replaced by might. The meaning is not the same. So for now, yeah, go ahead. Question.
Yes, but the meaning is the same, no? No?
When you replace them, it is 80% the same. Basically, yes. Basically, yes. It's the same. Basically, yes. Of course, the meaning is different because it's a different word, but it's almost the same.
Yes, but in other situations, you can replace or
yes. In every situation, you can replace them. Yes. If you can replace it here, you can replace it everywhere.
You can use both.
Yes. Yeah. I wouldn't show it. That's right. I wouldn't show it to you if you couldn't use it universally. So yes, you can use it. You can. They're interchangeable. Okay. Is the meaning exactly the same? No, it's a little bit different, but it doesn't matter. Basically, it's the same. That's what matters for now. Get the general idea first. So, Diego, why don't you take the first one for us? You invested savings in a company. You got that information on the internet. You sold the company at a loss. Talk about what you... Go back in time and tell me what you would have done differently. Using could have, should have, might have, ought to have, depending on which is the right word. Want to try it, Diego?
Yes, I'll try.
Give it a try.
Okay, situations about the...
So take a look at situation 1, Diego.
Just invest saving in the company, take it on internet inventory, sold them at
Right.
very small loss.
That's what you did. Now you're going to get into a time machine and you're going to change your actions. Because do you want to sell things at a loss? Do you want to lose money, Diego? Do you like losing money? No. Of course not.
I don't like. Never.
Exactly.
Like
So, using a conditional, talk about what you should have or ought to have done differently.
I could have lost money.
No, you did lose money. Look at number 1. You lost money. It's a fact. It's a fact. You eventually sold the company and you lost money. What should you have done? It's a fact, yeah. What should you have done differently, Diego? Should you have gotten information on the internet? Do you believe everything you see online?
I don't know.
Uh-oh. We got to help him out. He's not sure. Harry, what would you say? What would you have done differently if that was you?
Person number 1, right?
Yeah. If that was you, what should you have done differently? What ought you to have done differently?
You should have.
Talk about I should.
Oh. I should have invested savings in something else.
Exactly. I should have invested in something else because that company lost money. Exactly. Do you see what she's saying there, Diego? Yeah. So that's one thing you could have done differently. I should have invested somewhere else. Carmen, should you believe everything you read on the internet? What do you think? Carmen? Carmen! Carmen's gone. Sylvia, should you believe everything you read on the internet?
No.
No. So you can give another conditional. Maybe the key point is tipped on the internet. Tip means someone gave you a tip. Someone gave you some special information, but it was wrong. So what should you have done differently related to the information?
I could have.
Forget it, not could have. Let's talk about
should. Okay, I should have. I shouldn't have.
Good.
Believe in the tip on the internet.
Exactly. I shouldn't have believed in the tip on the internet. Perfect. That's it. Let's go around the room. We're pretty much out of time, but I want to hear one conditional from each of you. Okay? I'd like to hear from each of you quickly. Okay? So, let's go to Sergio. You arrived an hour late for an appointment without bothering. Sorry. Somebody arrived an hour late for an appointment with you without bothering to phone you. You probably are going to criticize them a little bit. What would you say to them?
Okay. If you should have.
Should here? Do you need to say should? You're criticizing.
No.
Criticizing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You could have. Oh, you might have called me during your way.
Exactly. You might have called me when you were on your way. Excellent. That's it. Mr. Jose, someone offers a discount. Let's see, what is it? Offers a discount to a customer without checking the manager first. One of your employees offered a discount to a customer without checking with you. One of your employees does that.
The employees should have checked the discount.
Should have checked the discount or should have checked with the manager?
Or the manager should have checked the discount.
Check the discount doesn't make sense.
Yes.
The employee should have checked with the manager.
The employees should have checked with the manager the discount.
Right. Forget about the discount.
Ah,
Forget
okay,
about
okay.
The discount,
Forget the discount. Okay.
it already
employee,
happened.
Okay. The employee should have a check with the manager.
Right, because did the employee have permission to give a discount? Yes or no?
No, no.
No, exactly. That's the problem.
He has to ask to the manager.
Right. He should have asked. Simply
Okay.
put, he should have asked.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Raphael, look at situation 4. Somebody forgot to let you know that a meeting had been changed. Okay? What would you say to that person, Raphael?
If you had informed me of that meeting, I would have arrived at this or
Fine.
okay.
The idea is perfect. Form is not good though, because you're putting too many things in. All
I
right.
couldn't get to.
Say the first part again. If you had.
If you had
Now you just need the past participle. If you had done, if you had called, if you had what?
Said me.
If you had. Wait a second. Say something, tell someone. Say something, tell someone. If you had said me, impossible. If you had say or tell, told me. Good. If you had told me what?
If you had told me that the meeting
had been
realized, I don't know.
It had been changed.
I would have arrived at it. I would
have gone to it.
Gone to it, yeah.
Write that sentence in the chat window for me so I can correct it. You got the idea now. Just write it down so that you don't forget. Write it, I'll correct it. Okay? So listen, everyone. Actually, I'll tell you what you can all do. Take one of these, write it, send it to me in the chat window, and I can correct it and send it back to you. All right, just to get some practice. We're going to practice a little more tomorrow at the same hour, but we're going to be moving on to our case study, our final activity for the unit. So you're going to have to be comfortable with these conditionals during the activity. I'll try to give you a little bit of practice in the beginning of class, but if you like, send me one of your conditionals in the message window, and I'll correct it and send it back. I'm also going to send you a homework to practice third and mixed conditionals. Okay? And Raphael, I'll correct your sentence before we go. Okay, so that's it, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow at the same hour, and I'll be back 1 hour earlier for, what is the class I do before that? It's Hot Topics, where we take a look at the news. Okay? I'm just going to correct your sentence, Raphael. If you had told me the meeting had changed, I would have gone to it. Perfect. It's perfect, Raphael. Absolutely perfect. That's it. All right, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 for Hot Topics, and this hour, 10 GMT, for our case study for how to talk about performance. Bye for now, everyone. Bye for now. See you soon. Bye. Bye.
Bye.